Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the show. This is Starlight Beacon Transmissions, our live show. This is episode 69. Nice. We had to. We had to. My wife just shook her head at me. You know, it is what it is. My name is Eric Mitchell. I am one of your hosts, and joining me, as always, is my good friend and co-host Casper the librarian. Casper, how are you?
Good. How are you, Eric?
I'm all right. It's been a long day, but I'm okay.
I got home from work and took an almost 2-hour nap and managed to wake up in time to be here. So, hey.
There's nothing wrong with 2-hour naps, honestly.
No, it was just a miracle that it wasn't a longer nap to where I wake up with, "Hey, you coming?"
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
uh, wake up at midnight.
yeah,
Podcast is long over.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean, but some nights we get that way, you know? Some nights you just need to rest. Like,
Yep.
I
Your body's
totally
like,
get.
"No, no
Yeah.
more."
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't blame you there. Um, we have a fun show this evening. We are going to be talking about some Star Wars news. We're going to talk about the Rings of Power just a little bit. And then at the end of the show, we are going to be doing a spoiler review and discussion of The Princess and the Scoundrel. Apparently, I can't speak this evening.
That's okay.
um, so we are super excited about that. Before we get going here, just want to just have a couple of announcements here, and then we have something else to discuss real quick before we get going. So, our RPG show, our main RPG show, will be coming back in September, as well as our High Republic RPG show will be premiering in September. Got to get together with the players to find out what day works, but we'll know very soon. And then there will be no live show October 15th, as I will be coming back from vacation. So, or I will still be on
First
vacation.
time. Yay.
Yeah, yeah, that's the Halloween on the High Seas Disney cruise. I'm excited
They're
about
so
that.
much fun.
Yeah, yeah. I was we actually just booked two of the things. Let me just tell you what they are real quick. Yeah, a couple of sightseeing tours in Canada.
Ooh.
Hmm. Yep, I'm about to say all that. It's okay. Um, so let's see here. We have a trolley around St. John, New Brunswick, so that'll be nice. Nice little trolley ride. And then we have in Halifax, Peggy's Cove and the Titanic Graveyard, so that'll be fun.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
I was
Peggy,
obsessed with Titanic when I was a kid.
yeah, did you
Y-
watch a certain movie?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like 9 and I convinced my mom to take me to the theater for it.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
And then as soon as we got the VHS, the two tape VHS, I watched it on repeat until the tape broke.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember those two tape VHS sets for stuff like that because those that was a long movie.
It's over 3 hours.
Yeah, which the ship doesn't even sink until like 2.5 hours into the thing.
I know. Yeah, it's like the last half of the movie.
Yeah. So so yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Um,
She
but we're excited. It'll be
said
fun
no.
trip.
She did not say it was okay. No, she didn't. You-
Eh,
It's no. Sorry, mom
no,
time.
you're fine. You're totally fine. So speaking of that, um, do you want to tell our viewers what's going on?
I can, yes. So not this week, but next week will be my last show as a regular co-host. I have had a ton of fun doing this every week, and I'm sad to be letting it go, but I'll still be available, whenever we have like High Republic deep dives or RPG shows, stuff like that.
Hmm.
I just need to kind of focus a little more on, uh, you know, hanging out with these guys. So
Yeah.
my schedule is constantly overflowing of
Mhm.
things, and Saturday is like the one day that I can kind of change. So it's bittersweet, but I'll still be around and I'll still be part of the community. And
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I'm just gonna just make you a team member.
yeah,
You're still gonna be a team member. You're just not co-host, and that's fine.
yeah,
I totally get it. Family's very important,
it is.
and you and I talked about this before that if you ever needed to step back due to family or anything like that, you would be more than welcome to. So,
Yes.
um, yeah, it's tough, um, but I think it's good. Yeah,
And it's like it's not like farewell, see you never. It's like
yeah,
see you in a couple weeks.
yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah,
like pop
exactly.
in and out.
Yeah,
But yeah.
because
Gonna
like,
gonna be focusing on the family thing
mhm,
and the not burning myself out thing, because 'cause I'm
yeah,
not really good at that.
yeah. No, I totally get it. And for people like us with ADHD, like it's very, very tough to it's very hard not to get burnt out.
It is. And it's like one of those things where I'm always like, yes, 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 yes to everything all the time, always, because I want to do all of the things.
Yeah,
But then realistically, after I'm doing all of the things, my brain is like, that's too much.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. And like you said, you're still gonna be our RPG regular. Yeah,
I gotta
go
mute
ahead.
real fast
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I got a fight going on.
go ahead. You're good. So yes, Casper is still gonna be with us for our RPG show and for our High Republic stuff. So you can still look forward to that. But we are going to, in the next couple of weeks, we are going to start the search for a new co host. So if you're a member of our community and you are interested in joining us here on the show as co host, please shoot us a message. We would love to hear from you and we will work something out. So there's that. Casper will be back in a few minutes. She has to put down a little bit of a skirmish with the kids, but that's okay. She's mom, and you know it's all good. But I want to hear from you all. I hope that you all are having a wonderful week. I hope that you're having an amazing weekend so far. And yeah, you are a okay, by the way.
I'm back.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah.
The menu is complicated in our house tonight, apparently.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We were talking before we came online that my eldest is making veggie burgers, and much like Eric, my youngest, does not like veggie burgers. So
Yeah, my wife was saying, if I cooked a veggie burger for you and didn't tell you, and you'd probably eat it.
okay, so regular veggie burgers you'd know.
Yeah,
An Impossible Burger, it would be hard to tell
because it's impossible.
because it's impossible to tell.
Yeah,
And also, they are very good. All of the meat eaters in my family will eat Impossible Burgers without complaining.
like
So,
it's gotta be seasoned well though.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because it comes just like as plain meat. Like you can get it as like the same like kind of block of hamburger
Okay.
and then like season it yourself. So
Hmm.
it's and it's gross, but it bleeds like a hamburger. But it's like beet juice.
Oh, okay.
yeah. Like when I
Yeah.
was vegetarian, like full on vegetarian, eating an Impossible Burger, as good as it tasted, also kind of grossed me out because I couldn't convince myself that I wasn't actually eating meat.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see like where you're yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
But yeah, I've
man.
tricked my carnivore dad into eating Impossible products, and
Oh
he had
wow.
no idea that it wasn't real meat. So yes, Eve could totally fool you with an Impossible Burger.
Mhm. Yeah. All right. So yeah, I just said that in the next couple of weeks, we're gonna start kind of looking for a new co-host
Yeah.
also. Um, so if you know anybody, send them our way. But yeah, I also put that out to the community as well. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Because there's so many people out here who are passionate
Oh
about
yeah.
Star Wars like us, and
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's
and I get it. Saturday nights can be tough for some people also. Like I totally understand. Like
it is. I think if I didn't have to work on Saturdays, which I know that that will never change,
mhm.
like it's yeah, that give and take of schedules. There's only so much between work,
Yeah.
family schedules.
No, yeah.
It's a lot,
And especially
man. No one
especially
warns you about this stuff when you're like, yeah, I'm gonna get married and have kids. And then it's like, you're gonna have to balance three other people's schedules for the rest of eternity.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So,
I have trouble just balancing my own schedule.
oh no, big same.
Yeah.
And then you add the other, like,
Yeah.
where's
Well,
everyone going at what time?
I'll tell you whose schedule is the hardest to balance in this house.
Pickles.
A pickle's schedule is the
Yes.
hardest to balance
Yes.
because, he has a lot going on,
Got
you
that
know.
kitten life.
Oh, yeah, 10 p.m. Zoomies, we can't miss that.
Whoop. Nope.
Yeah, don't forget 10:05 snack time, then 10:06 Zoomies. Then
Because you have to zoom off what you just ate.
oh yeah, 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 yeah. Then the 10:15 bathroom call. Hey, hey Zach. Then
Oh, under the
the
door.
yes, then the early morning I've got to walk over my mom's head at 6 in the morning. So,
Yep.
there's tons going on here.
Our newer addition, Mira, she lives in the kids' room because
Hmm.
her and Jaina don't get along.
Yeah.
And she's taken now to sleeping on top of one of the kids' pillows. So like you walk in and here's the pillow, here's child head, here's cat, like
Hmm.
wrapped around. And of course it's the child that's allergic to the cat.
Of course.
So yeah, that's really fun. It's like wake up allergy medicine.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Um, shall we get into the news?
We should do the news.
That's fine.
I'm finishing up this Rogue One quiz really quick because I forgot to take it earlier. I kept seeing
Ah,
everyone post about it.
did you see who I got?
Was it Saw?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I got Mon Mothma at one point.
Aw, I love Mon Mothma.
Yeah,
I'm so excited to see more of her.
yeah, me too. But Nickel, what are you doing?
Dun, dun. Oh,
I'm
definitely a
not.
snarky remark here.
Snarky remark in the middle of a fight. Oh, of
Yeah.
course. To me, you
They
seem
never have my actual favorite color.
no.
Go
To
with
me,
black.
you just seem like the type of person that would like say something witty and then do something cool in the middle of a fight, or do something
We can
cool
only
then
hope.
say something witty.
We could only hope that that would actually it would be I would say something witty and it would turn out to not be as witty as I thought it was. And
Hmm.
then I would try to pull off some cool move and like fall flat on my face.
So you would roll a nat one.
I would roll in that one.
Okay.
That's, yeah, I'm living that now one life. Uh, I got K2SO,
Oh, nice.
which I actually, yeah, I feel good about that.
Nice. Nice. So do you want to go through the news?
I can go through the news. I can do the
Sure.
thing.
Yeah, do the
Actually,
thing.
because I just started talking about it, I'm gonna do this a little bit out of order and talk about
Yeah.
the Rogue One character quiz real quick.
Yeah.
So of course, StarWars.com always has great quizzes. I think was it last week? We did the Lego Star Wars summer vacation one
Yes.
or something. Yeah. Well, this week, as we're gearing up for Andor, we get which Rogue One character are you? Which you guys, spoiler, you already know our answers because we just said them. But Eric was Saw Gerrera, and I just got K2SO, which is great because there's always like white, brown-haired girls in Star Wars, and I'm like, yeah, like I look like that person. But I relate more to the droid in this one than I do to Jyn Erso, who I could probably easily cosplay.
You could.
Yeah. No, we're
Yeah.
the 7 foot tall potential murder bot instead. I love him so much.
Congratulations,
Yes.
you were being rescued.
Do not resist.
You do not resist. Oh, Zach said I could see Eric as Saw Gerrera.
Oh man, I was playing Fallen Order
Hmm.
at the same time that my husband was, but we were like at different parts in the story.
Hmm.
And so I was trying to like make sure that I didn't like play through spoiler parts where
Hmm.
he couldn't like where he would see it. And all of a sudden I'm on Kashyyyk and here's Saw Gerrera. And I'm playing with headphones on so he can't hear the TV. And
Hmm.
he's just like, that's Saw Gerrera. I was like, turn around, spoilers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lies,
He's
deception.
in everything.
He is. He is.
And I'm not complaining. I love Saw.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I will admit, like when I saw him in the Bad Batch, I kind of rolled my eyes at one point. I was like, really?
I mean, it makes sense for the timeline.
It does.
It does.
Yeah.
I was glad to see. I thought it was cool too how they made him look more like his Clone Wars animation model.
Hmm.
And so, like, if you watch Clone Wars and Bad Batch and Rebels, and then you see the live action stuff, like you see the progression of him from animated model that looks nothing like Forrest Whitaker to Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah. Yeah. But I will say this, I do love that they brought him on to voice Saw Gerrera in the later iterations of his character.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I mean, even if he doesn't look the same, like that the voice is so distinctive, like it's gotta
Hmm.
sound like him.
Yeah.
It would be like hearing someone else speaking for Vader
Yeah.
at this point. It's a really distinct voice.
Yeah. Um, I will say this, K2SO is a great choice for you. I believe well, I mean, I know Alan Tudyk's coming back to play K2SO in season 2 of Andor.
Right.
Yeah, they said that he
Which
wouldn't be in season 1.
which at first, with us not knowing that there was supposed to be a season 2 of Andor and kind of thinking that this was like a limited series, I was very upset when I heard that Alan Tudyk wasn't going to be in it, and I was like, how could they have an Andor show without K2? But yeah, no, knowing that we have season 2 and he's going to be back then makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Watch
Um,
like the last episode be like maybe it's just a red herring and he actually is in season 1, but like the last episode is going to be Cassian like liberating him.
I'm really thinking that that's what it's gonna be. Like
Yeah.
Cassian gets him in the last episode
Hmm.
because he's gonna lose B2MO or
Yes.
B2 emo. Uh, in
It's the droid with the bangs over his
yeah,
eyes.
yeah, yeah. He's all those goth kids from South Park.
Yep.
Yeah, that go to Denny's just to drink coffee. Yeah, yeah.
It's black like their souls.
Yeah. Black like our souls.
Also going a little bit out of order here, but we're
Yeah.
mentioning B2 emo.
Yeah, go ahead.
Be so emo.
Be so
Uh,
emo.
be so emo. There is the most adorable DIY pencil cup
Yes.
craft up on starwars.com. I want to make one of these. They say be ready for school with this B2 emo DIY pencil cup. You can make your own little salvage droid and stick your pencils in them or your scissors or whatever you need. Uh, I kind of want to make one for my desk at work.
He's really, really cute. And if I had a desk, I would totally make this too.
Yeah, it's a lot of like your basic crafting supplies like paints, hot glue gun. Uh, you need a cardboard box as well as some thin cardboard from
Hmm.
like a cereal box would probably work pretty well.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, basically, parents and teachers out there, you've probably got all of this crap in your houses.
Hmm. Yeah, you
Yeah,
do.
it's so cute.
Um,
It's an in-depth process. Looking through all the steps.
yeah,
It would take a minute, but the end product looks very much worth it.
it would probably take you a few hours.
Few hours, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just so freaking cute.
He is. I will say this. He reminds me a lot of Wally.
Yes, yes,
Like,
especially since he's a little salvage droid too.
hmm.
Aw.
Is he gonna fall in love
Oh,
with another droid?
is there? I feel like there has to be some mashup art of B2 with Wally,
That'd be fun.
like them meeting and like looking through all the trash heaps together, and
Yeah.
like Wally can find some like code cylinders, and B2 can find some cassette tapes.
That'd be fun.
I say this like I'm not gonna go draw it after we're done talking.
And as well as you should.
I should. I don't
Yeah.
draw droids very much, but I feel like I could draw this. He's boxy.
He's very boxy.
He
Very
is.
boxy.
And so is I actually really like drawing Wally.
Yeah. Zach says, look, Chopper is still the best. I don't know. This is the best boy, in my opinion.
Chopper is a criminal, and we love
Yeah.
that for him.
Yes. Chopper is definitely a war criminal. My
I
wife says he has the highest body count.
He really does. Like between him and R2, like those two have blown up a lot of people
Well,
in the Star Wars universe.
I'll even say BB-8 on that Star Destroyer in The Last Jedi took out a lot of people too.
Yep, yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Yeah. Yeah. Casper just said R2 has taken out a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Highest kill counts. Chopper, R2D2, BB-8,
Yeah.
and then Ewoks.
Ewoks definitely have a high kill count.
So many stormtroopers.
Porgs have a high kill count too.
Do they? Oh well, they were helping to pilot the Falcon, so
Yeah, there was a
I'm
high
sure
body
someone
count.
pushed a button.
Oh yeah. Oh, well, I mean, those porgs almost killed each other with the lightsaber when they were trying to look at it.
Have you seen, I don't know which company made it, but there was bookends of that.
No, I have to look that up.
Yes. I want it so bad. The last time I saw it on sale anywhere, it was like over $200. And I was like, I can't justify that, but I really want to be able to.
I have to tell Eve this real quick. Apparently, there's bookends of the porgs with the lightsaber in The Last Jedi. Yeah. Um, but
I found, yeah, it's from Gentle Giant. It's
oh,
250.
okay, I'll have to look it up.
I'm sending you the link now.
Cool. On the tweets.
Yes.
Cool. I'll look
The
it up.
tweeters.
The tweeters.
Maybe if I can figure out how to paste. Oh God, that's a long link.
um, but you know who also has a high body count? Wedge Antilles.
as he should.
Luke does.
I mean, okay, it's called Star Wars.
I know.
There's wars happening, so of course there's going to be high body counts.
Hmm. I know.
Yep, yep.
Krennic has a high body count too.
Are we including Krennic for the destruction of Alderaan because he was in charge of the Death Star project?
Ooh. I
Like I know
mean,
he's dead by then, but
honestly, I would include him as with the destruction of Alderaan since that was his baby.
yeah.
Yeah, because at that point you can also credit Galen Erso with that too.
I know, I was just thinking that. Poor Galen. He,
Yeah,
kn- he knew it was going to be used for that and he didn't want it to be.
yeah.
So
So there is that.
there is just a plethora of great Star Wars bookends, by the way. Like
Oh, I'm sure.
they know. They know that there's Star Wars readers out there.
We have the Han and Leia ones that say "I love you" and "I know."
Oh, yeah,
The
those are really cute.
bookends. Yeah.
So
Oh.
so many good things.
So there's B2 Emo.
B2 Emo Pencil Cup.
Yep.
And then I'm really excited for this. Going back to the top of the list here, we
Sure.
have September 8th is Disney Plus Day,
Yep.
which is also Star Trek Day, BTW.
That's right. It's First
So,
Contact Day or Star
yes,
Trek.
there's going to
Yeah.
be a lot of content coming out for both franchises that day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so on September 8th, for part of Disney Plus Day, we have Obi-Wan Kenobi, a Jedi's Return documentary premiering,
Mm-hmm.
of course, only on Disney Plus. I just got goosebumps because I saw the trailer the other morning
Yeah.
and I like legit was tearing up, like seeing Ewan and Hayden talking about coming back to these characters after so long.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I can't wait to see like that journey for them and uh learn more about Deborah Chow's like writing and directing process. I think it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah. I
Um,
yeah, I have to say the trailer's amazing. Go on.
it is. I just yeah, seriously, no serious goosebumps right now.
Mm-hmm.
Also coming up, we have a flashback to a top secret mission in Marvel's Star Wars Obi-Wan number 4. There's an exclusive look on starwars.com.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic Phil Noto cover with like impaled clone trooper helmets. That looks
Yeah.
scary. So I haven't been keeping up with this series. It's one of the ones I'm definitely gonna catch up with once we get a trade.
Mm-hmm.
But we get some Ventress action,
Yeah.
and yeah. Oh, is that General Yularen too?
It looks like
Yeah,
Yularen, yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely him.
The artwork is amazing, by the way.
It is. Who is the artist on this one?
Uh Musbekov?
Musabikov? I'm
Yeah.
trying to. That seems like Eastern European.
Yes.
So,
Madibek Musabekov.
yes,
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful artwork.
very gorgeous.
Yeah.
I That's like one of my biggest frustrations with comic books sometimes is like you see like this like stunning cover art
Mm,
and like not to knock any comic book artist because like it's a crazy labor intensive process to make a comic. I have tried myself.
yeah.
I It's not it doesn't always work. But
Hmm.
obviously these are all professionals that are like getting to make these. But sometimes like you see like super stunning cover art and then the interior story is like more simplistic, which
Yeah.
like it's always like that, but sometimes it's like overly simplistic. And because I just want it all to look like the cover. I know
Yeah.
that's not going to happen. I know that that's not practical. Um, but yeah,
Uh,
if only.
a lot of the Poe Dameron run was done by Phil Noto.
Yes. So
Um,
yeah, even though it's not like the fully rendered pictures like his covers are,
yeah.
the 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 art style, the like the way that he draws the characters is the same throughout it.
Yeah, yeah, and that's actually one of the most beautiful Star Wars books I've read because
I
of that
love how
art.
he draws. I love how he draws Poe.
Yeah,
His Oscar Isaac is so good.
yeah, Oscar Isaac is good. So before we get into the final topic, you were
Yes.
talking about Star Trek. Did you catch the Lower Decks premiere?
I did. Thursday
Okay.
night, is Star Trek night in my house, and yeah, we have friends over and do the whole like watch party thing. So
Yeah,
we actually just finished rewatching season two about a week or two ago, and then jumped into season three on
nice.
Thursday night, and so good. I love having them back. Oh,
It's like
so many
having
crazy antics.
it's like having a warm hug.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Even though they're like, I don't know, it's a little bit crass. It's a little bit, it's definitely like not what you expect from Star Trek, like at all. It's like, I don't know, it's like it's like Star Trek paired up with Legend of Vox Machina. Like
Yeah.
there's leaps everywhere and content that's questionable,
Oh
but it's
yeah.
fine. I love it. But yeah, it's there's it's so good. I
I
love that show so much.
I love that they go to Cisco's restaurant in New Orleans and they're all having jambalaya and
I am
Boimler
Boimler in that scene.
Boimler with the Ketracel white hot sauce. And like he's dying from like the heat and then Mariner just like keeps pouring
Like,
it
oh, it's
in.
got a little kick. Yeah, Boimler does like two dashes and is like red and sweating and dying, and
Yeah.
then Mariner is like just keeps dumping it on, and she's like, "Okay, this is fine." Yeah, no, I am definitely a Boimler. Like, I probably wouldn't have even like put a dash of the hot sauce on and still been dying.
Yeah. Um Another one of my favorites was the Bozeman theme park with the Flight of the Phoenix, in which they brought back James Cromwell to play Zephyr Cochrane.
Yep. It actually, I was getting big Guardians of the Galaxy, like Cosmic Rewind vibes there when he like puts the music in before
Yeah,
they lift off. It's like we can't do this without a little rock and roll.
yeah. And then I forget what the one dude's name was that like takes over the Phoenix to like be an explorer or whatever, but that was so great.
I told everyone in my watch party, I was like, that dude's gonna come back as a villain by the end of the season.
He is. Mm,
So I don't know though. I think that got resolved in the end credits.
it did.
Yeah.
Um, but it's so funny. It's so great, and it's so great to have that show back because that show just is such a highlight for me because of how funny it is.
Yeah.
And you don't even need to be like the biggest Star Trek fan to watch it
No.
because like a lot of the jokes land.
And a lot of them are either self-explanatory or enough
Yeah.
that like if you don't know the reference, you kind of get it.
Yeah.
Um, or it's like one of those things that's like funny anyways.
Yeah.
It's
Um
like funny, like the reference is just an extra level to the joke.
there's there's one joke in the first season that is so inside baseball though that you like have to listen to it. And it's I think it was when they were spreading rumors about like Mariner being a Section 31 agent and
Yes.
then like she's talking to the one dude that's like a big conspiracy theorist and he's getting
Yeah, it's
pulled
the
away.
bartender.
Yeah, and he but no, there's like somebody else in the bar that starts yelling about Wolf 359 being an inside job.
I don't know. Okay, I don't know that reference.
So it was when Picard was with the Borg. He attacks the Federation at Wolf 359, which is where Cisco was on his ship.
Gotcha. I just looked it up too. And
Yeah.
yes, I'm like, okay, I vaguely remember my husband explaining this to me after the joke was made.
Wolf
Oh,
359 was an inside job.
Yeah,
Like,
very, very big callback to, the whole everything in our universe is a inside job.
yeah, it was just so funny. So, Lower Decks, watch it. It's fantastic. It's so funny. It's worth getting Paramount Plus just for that.
I'll make it in a little bit. Thank you. I have a burger.
Oh, good. But yes, Wolf 359, Wolf 359. Um, Lower Decks, worth getting Paramount Plus. Really, really funny. And then you can go and watch 42 seasons of Survivor after you watch all of Lower Decks.
And you get all of Star Trek as
Yeah.
well. Discovery,
Strange New
I mean, Strange
Worlds.
New Worlds. Yep. All of those other Star Treks that are
hmm
classics or something that I guess I'm supposed to watch at some point.
Um, yeah, I would save the best for last, which is Deep Space Nine,
I've only seen a few episodes.
because that one
Oh,
is amazing.
and Prodigy.
Prodigy is so good.
Prodigy is good.
Uh,
I think I enjoyed it more than my kids did.
Prodigy is the Clone Wars version of Star Trek, in
Yeah,
my opinion.
exactly.
Yeah.
Where Lower Decks is the holiday special
Lower Decks is so the holiday special.
and Prodigy is Clone Wars.
Yeah. No, Lower Decks are the Lego specials.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Where it's just so bizarre and out there, and how could this ever be a part of canon? Except I think Lower Decks is supposed to be canon. I don't
Mike
know that they've ever said it's not.
Mike McMahon has said that it is canon, because they do have Riker on the Titan during that time, so it is canon. And um I keep thinking back to the end of this last episode where Ransom's like, "I'm your mama now."
Oh my gosh. Poor Mariner.
Yeah.
She's
Uh,
gonna turn it on him though. It's gonna be great.
oh yeah, it's gonna be great. So yes, Lower Decks, check it out. So we're gonna move on to our next topic. There's a little show premiering on Friday on Amazon Prime. I don't know if you've heard about it.
I have a little
You
bit.
you have?
I haven't seen the newest trailer yet, but I have heard of it.
Newest trailer is really cool. Um, Rings of Power is coming out on Friday.
That's why all of the Lord of the Rings books are checked out in my library currently
Oh, I'm sure. And
and
then
have been for like a month.
yeah, it's really interesting though, because like Cinemark and Amazon are doing screenings on Wednesday, like fan screenings on Wednesday, which we were actually able to score tickets for.
Yay!
Yeah. Give me one second here. Excuse me. Which we were able to score tickets for, so we get to see the first two episodes. But their Regal is actually re-releasing all three films in the original trilogy, in their RPX format,
Oh, I know where my
which
husband's gonna be for the next several days.
yeah, which I was like, oh, okay, cool. Let me see if there's an RPX theater. There isn't one within like 100 miles of where I'm
Oh
at.
no. We have
Yeah,
one like 5 miles away from us.
yeah,
I'm
um,
spoiled.
yeah, and it's all three extended editions too. So that's roughly 13 hours of content.
I think it's next Thursday as well. Regal here is showing Wrath of Khan.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So
Yeah.
my Star Trek watch group is all gonna go watch that. I am actually gonna stay home because it's Critical Role night. And I was like, I can't do both. Can't be in two places at once. And this way I don't have to get a babysitter.
Now I kind of want to go see Wrath of Khan on Thursday night.
I mean, you should.
Con. Now, I will say this. As much as I love Wrath of Khan, if they were showing Star Trek 4, I'd be all over that in a heartbeat.
That was trending earlier today on the Twitters,
Yeah.
I believe.
Star Trek 4 is amazing. That's the one with the whales.
I think I've seen it probably like so far back that I didn't realize which number it was, but I do remember something about whales.
The nuclear vessels. Spot the
Oh,
Cat
let's
is
check them up.
not in Star Trek 4. Spot the Cat makes a brief cameo in Star Trek Generations, though. At the end, after the Enterprise crashes.
I do know about Spot the cat. Love Spot the cat. My friends made sure I knew about him before we went to MegaCon a few years ago and
Hmm.
saw Brent Spiner and LeVar Burton. They were both there, and they were like giving me crash course on all things TNG.
Nice.
It was pretty great.
Nice. So,
And then I was
yes.
texting my husband from the convention who was at a football game. And he's like, "Yeah, football." And I'm like, "Hey, there's these guys from Star Trek here." And I like sent him like pictures from the panel. And he was just like, "Why am I at a football game right now?" And I was like, "I told you you could come to the con with us, but you didn't want to."
Yay, sports.
Yay, sports ball.
Sports ball. Hit
It
the
was a
puck in the.
Buccaneers game before Brady showed up.
Oh.
They didn't even win.
Oh. So, a forgetful afternoon at Raymond James Stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I know where that is.
I had to drive by there because my library I was working at that time during the Super Bowl a couple years ago.
Hmm.
We were open on Super Bowl Sunday,
Oh,
and I was
wow.
like, "Why? Like, do you realize how insane the traffic is going to be getting in and out of the city?"
There's
It
no
was
way.
bad. I was driving home from work and I could see on the interstate there was like little fireworks and stuff going off. So I assumed that was like, I don't know, kickoff or something.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, they shoot off fireworks at the Super Bowl just to shoot off fireworks at the Super
yes,
Bowl.
they do.
Yeah.
That's a stupid thing. Like, why are the city libraries in the city that's hosting the Super Bowl going to be open on the day that it's happening? Like, nobody is going to think about books today.
Unless you're trying to hunt down like Tom Brady's biography or something.
Not, not even, man. I
Yeah.
don't, I don't know why they decided that was a good idea. We didn't see anybody all day.
No, I wouldn't have either.
No.
So,
Nope.
anyway, Rings of Power is coming to
Hey.
theaters, and it hits on Friday the second 2 episode premiere. Looks like each episode's going to be over an hour to probably an hour and a half long. And keep in mind, this is the most expensive show in television history. I
Crazy.
believe Amazon spent $1 billion on this show.
Did we need to spend $1 billion to make a Lord of the Rings TV show?
I don't know. It looks pretty incredible.
It looks pretty epic, but like if you look at the budgets of other shows that are out like contemporarily with it,
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's coming that close to $1 billion.
No,
I
because
know.
I was looking at Game of Thrones with House of the Dragon, and each episode of that cost HBO roughly 20 million
Okay. Yeah.
to do.
Man, TV has gotten expensive to make.
Yeah.
That's that's just like unfathomable to me.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know, you look at movie budgets and like there's some movies that are nowhere even near that.
What's really funny is that if we're talking about budgets,
Hmm.
look at look at the first Deadpool movie. It cost them 60 million to make it, and look at how much it grossed.
Smart movie making right there.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
Um,
much of their marketing for that was just viral marketing.
exactly. It was
Like,
cheap viral marketing.
yeah, people knew the Deadpool was coming out. They wanted to watch Deadpool. thing happened. Didn't have to
Exactly.
come back to theaters twice like Morbius.
They need to CGI all the dwarfs in The Hobbit. No, please no. I do
No,
not want to see
no.
CGI dwarfs again. I do not.
I like the practical effects on the dwarves.
I have to say this. One of the worst things about the Hobbit trilogy is all the CGI on the bad guys and then like all the CGI on the dwarves in the Battle of the Five Armies.
That's the only one of the Hobbit movies that I have not seen, actually. I
Well,
need to watch one.
spoiler alert.
The
Um,
dwarves get CG'd.
yeah, and three people die in that movie.
I knew there was going to be lots of deaths. That's
Well,
you expect that when it's Star Wars, Battle
yeah,
of Five Armies.
yeah.
Like, I don't know, you go into it, you know people are going to die.
Um, I mean, you've read the book.
I haven't actually.
No.
I've
Okay.
I okay, I started reading The Hobbit and I haven't finished it.
Okay.
It's been a
Well,
couple years. It's one
I
of those
won't.
ones I need to get back to.
I won't tell you who dies.
Okay.
Okay.
Bilbo
Um.
doesn't die. I know that
Yes,
much.
Bilbo dies.
Gandalf doesn't die.
Gandalf dies.
Yes, all of the
They
deaths.
all die.
Okay.
Aragorn shows up, dies. Gimli shows up, dies.
Frodo shows up, he dies.
Oh yeah, Frodo
He's not
gets
even born yet, but he shows up and
yeah,
dies.
Frodo gets stabbed like three times by a giant spider.
Well, I do
Um,
know
and
remember that
a
from
cave
the
troll.
other movies. Yeah.
Yeah. Boromir shows up and lives.
The only time Sean Bean ever lives.
Yeah, the only time Sean Bean ever
And National
lives.
Treasure,
Yeah,
because
that's
he
right.
gets arrested.
Yes, he does get arrested in National Treasure. That is true.
Yeah. Which is basically the live action Disney version of dying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which maybe they'll make him the bad guy in the third movie again. Like maybe he'll
Ooh,
escape.
one can only hope.
Yeah,
And then he'll die.
that'd be great. Nicolas Cage just like shoots him with a rocket, like in The Rock. You're the Rocket Man.
The
But yeah, so Faramir shows up, dies. You know,
whole crew.
yeah, the whole crew.
They die and then
Gollum,
live again.
Gollum blows right up.
They have to stitch him back to pieces for
Yeah.
the next movies. Oh, hello, cat.
No wonder he looks so bad in the next movies. Yeah.
Well, it's just decades difference in computer graphics.
Yeah. But, so since we're talking about Lord of the Rings, I have to say this also about The Hobbit. It didn't need to
Mhm.
be three movies.
It does not need to be three movies.
It just needs to be two.
The Hobbit is not a very long book.
It's maybe 220 pages.
It's
It's
not a long book.
really not long.
No.
Um, and most of it like is very like upbeat and happy.
Mhm.
Whereas like with these movies, like especially when you get to Desolation of Smog, you're just like, this is depressing.
Yep.
Don't even get me started on Battle of the Five Armies.
Yeah, I think that the pacing probably could have been a lot better if they had decided to do two movies instead of three, but everyone's just so stuck on that like trilogy
Yeah.
model.
Well,
Thanks, George Lucas.
yeah. And you know what? Smog doesn't even die in the own movie called The Desolation
The
of Smog.
desolation. Well, I mean, because the desolation is like his desolation of the area.
Yeah,
So
I get it. Thanks, George Lucas, for all these trilogies. Thanks, buddy.
all the trilogies.
Yeah. Thanks, Kevin Scott and Charles Soule and Claudia Gray for another trilogy.
Just as many tears. I saw someone posted on Twitter this morning. There was they were joking about Stellan Geos and swimming,
Mm.
and I was just like, It's too soon. It's like been it feels like it's been almost a year, but it's still too soon.
Yeah,
Oh, not
yeah.
cool.
So, shall we talk about our main topic of the evening?
We shall. So full disclosure, I made it about three-quarters of the way through the book.
Okay.
I also do not mind spoilers though at this point, um, for the ending. I was actually trying to find spoilers, so I was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna make it through this." I would have if I hadn't taken that nap, but
Honestly, I barely remember what happens at the end.
oh no.
It was good.
I know where I last left off. We're on the ice planet
Hmm.
with all the art and the Empire. Yeah. Oh, spoiler warning.
Yeah. Um, yeah, spoilers if you haven't read The Princess and the Scoundrel, which you should, because it's a beautiful story.
It's so it's so entertaining. It's one that
Hmm.
I'm like, I'm not even with it for the plot at this point. I'm just with it because it's amazing and like a great character study.
Hmm. And it's just a fun book.
Yeah.
Um, because it's Han and Leia doing their own thing
And being adorable.
and being adorable. I have to ask you because you were just about to the wedding when we talked last week. How awesome was that wedding?
That wedding was chaos and it was everything. Um, oh my gosh. Yeah, so let's talk wedding scene.
Yeah.
I love that we go into it. It's like Mon Mothma has been the one preparing everything for Leia and like trying to make everything perfect for her. And I'm just like, that's so sweet. Like, kind of like stepping in because obviously Leia's parents, either set of Leia's parents aren't going to be there.
No.
So she's kind of doing what she can to make things good for this kind of like mentory that she has.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's the right word. Did I just make that up?
Mentee.
Uh, Mentee, that's the one.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, seeing like getting to know her a little bit more is cool because we obviously don't see her very much on screen throughout the the saga.
Hmm.
Um, so especially leading into Andor, it's nice to see her like humanized a little more and not just many Bothans have died to bring us these secrets.
Yeah.
um, Having Luke officiate is perfect.
Yep.
And then, of course, the Ewoks say screw this and decide to hijack the wedding and do it Ewok style, which is beautiful.
Oh, you're talking about like with the rings and everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
And well, and like, because Logray like stops the middle of the ceremony, like Luke is about to start talking, and he stops and then says that C-3PO has to be the one to deliver the statements. And then
Yeah.
Han's like, "I'm not getting married by this droid. Like, no, we're not doing this."
Yeah.
So there's the whole 3PO explain to them that you are too high and mighty to deign in the affairs of humans. Oh, it's so good. Luke
Hmm.
using the force to like try to he like makes the amber glow so that the Ewoks all think that that actually is uh a divine intervention of sorts. And so the wedding itself is taking place in a tree that is a temple. um what they call it the Great Tree,
Yeah. Yeah. The Great
and
Tree.
it's like kind of like everything connected throughout the planet, like all the roots of all the plants are connected to the Great Tree. And it's I just love seeing Ewok lore.
Hmm.
Like getting to know them more was really, really cool because all we had so far was Yub Nub.
Yeah.
So Ewoks are fleshed out.
Hmm.
They're so adorable.
Hmm.
Except Han would not say that they are adorable because they murder people.
Han keeps thinking back to them murdering all those stormtroopers.
We know we talked about this quote last week, but when the bachelor party gets crashed by the Ewoks and Luke is calling them cute, and Han's like, no, like Wookiees can rip your arms off and beat you with them if they want to. Ewoks? want to rip your arms off and beat you with them, but they can't.
Yeah.
So like there's the difference.
Yeah.
Like Wookiees have the common sense to not do the bad thing. Ewoks are like, I want to do the bad thing, but I can't do the bad thing because I can't physically pull off the feat.
Yeah.
Great. And I love too, like especially at that beginning there, we get to see a little bit more banter between Luke and Han
Mhm.
that we didn't see on screen. I don't know, it's nice to see everyone kind of just getting to be themselves
Mhm.
and like let loose for a minute.
Yeah.
Um, and Lando, like you get just so many great casual moments, like between Han and Luke, Leia and Luke, Leia and Han, and Leia and Mon Mothma. Like they're all just having like these great little like character interaction scenes
Mhm.
that I don't know, like it would have been great to see this in a movie format, but
Yeah.
obviously we won't.
Yeah. I will say this. One of my favorite interactions, especially early on in the book, and I talked about this last week. It's right before the wedding. They're getting ready for the wedding, like, and Lando is dressing Han,
Yes.
and he's still making fun of Han and like how bad he looks, but he's doing it in such an endearing way that
Mm.
like he's just trying to like calm Han down because Han's like having like cold feet at that
Oh, he's
second.
totally in his head.
Yeah.
When he like peeks out and he sees how many people are there, and then Chewie just kind of shoves him.
Yeah.
Like Chewie and Lando have his back.
Mhm.
They're like, we're not letting you screw this up. Get out there and get married,
Yeah.
which is adorable.
And then I want to talk about this one moment during the wedding also that just brought tears.
I think I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Well, there's two moments.
Okay.
Um, it's when Han sees Leia for the first time as she's walking down the aisle.
I know.
That
Hmm.
because I know exactly that feeling that he had seeing your wife walk down the aisle.
Yeah.
Like you just like that's all you think about in that moment and like you just tear up, right?
Yeah.
And then the other one is when um Luke's talking about the people that they lost and Leia feels the sword.
Huh. I'm just gonna keep getting goosebumps throughout this episode.
Yeah.
Um, I just want to backtrack a little bit on the
Yeah.
sword because this is something that's kind of a carryover from, well, it's definitely a carryover from Claudia Gray's Leia, Princess of Alderaan,
Yeah.
um, where we kind of see the process of her being like becoming the next in line to the throne.
Mhm.
So she's got to like take these trials, like the trials of the heart, trial of the mind, and I think there's one other one.
I
Can't
forget what
remember.
the other one is.
It's been a
Yeah.
while since I've read it. But yeah, so she's like got to do these different tasks to like prove that she's worthy of the crown and to be a ruler of her planet. Um, and they mentioned in that book that like the sword
Yeah.
that would be passed down to her when she becomes the ruler and how it would be attached like her mom would tie it around her waist as she's getting married.
Yeah.
And they did a quick little callback to that when Leia's kind of just thinking about like how her wedding would have been different if Alderaan hadn't exploded, if she was able to get married at home.
Mhm.
Um, Kind of just like, you know, the thinking about what if things were different.
Mhm.
Um, about how just I wonder how Han would react to having to do a royal wedding.
He would not be happy.
He would not be happy. He would probably smell a lot better though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Lando keeps pointing out how bad Han's shirt smells, which I love it. But yeah, so then for that moment to kind of come full circle, Luke is talking about he drops the quote that we first saw in The Last Jedi. Or was it no, I think we got it before that even. Uh the ones we love are never truly gone.
Yeah.
Um So he's explaining that as part of his officiating duties, and Leia feels it, and I'm just yeah, I've got very teary-eyed there at that moment too. I was not ready for
Yeah.
that. And like she says that she can feel Bale like kissing her on the forehead.
Yeah. And then she also felt Padme there also.
Hmm.
She doesn't really mention Anakin because of how she's still coping with Vader and the reveal that Vader was her father too.
Can we talk about the funeral pyre?
Yes, yeah, go ahead.
So beginning of the scene, uh Leia feels Luke and like that Luke needs her in the same way that she did on Bespin, where
Yeah,
she's thinking to herself that the last time I felt this like emotion radiating off of him or like this call to him was that he was in danger and about to die. So like I have to get to him, and she just like bolts through the woods to get to Luke, and
yeah,
instead she finds the flames of Darth Vader's funeral pyre, which obviously we see in the movie. She gets
yeah.
there after Luke has gone and just kind of sees the remnants of it, and just the whole like seeing into her head with her reckoning with Vader being her dad is really, really powerful.
Mhm.
Um, and again, I love how they're like tying it into all of these other books that have touched on her character too.
Mhm.
Because in Bloodline, we obviously get a lot more of the her talking about that, but from a point of view of someone who's much older and has had time to kind of sit with that. This is her
Yeah.
finding Vader's pyre. I mean, I guess it is a pile.
It is a pile too.
Funeral pyre, like, within the same day that she's found out that her torturer was also her father. It's just
Yeah.
there's so much emotion wrapped up there and trauma, and she's going through it, and it was really I think it was really beautifully written.
Yeah.
And I think she
Sorry,
says something too about,
pickles.
like I say pickles. Sh There was a
Sorry.
quote, and I wish I had the physical copy of the book because I would have highlighted this. But she talks about his ashes being on the bottom of her boot, like
Yeah.
scum or something. I was just like,
Yeah.
that was intense.
Yeah, and then like when she's talking about the torture droid and everything, and like she's like Vader seems almost proud of her for enduring the torture.
Yep.
And she just looks at that as like this sick and twisted thing. Um
Yeah.
and
And of course, at that point in time, Vader also does not know that Leia is his daughter.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah,
But like she deals with a lot of PTSD in this book too.
yeah.
And rightfully so because of everything that she's gone through at the hands of Vader. Um, but yeah, I also want to talk about the wedding rings too, which I thought was really cool.
It
Um,
was.
it was from the sap of the amber.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Law Gray. So
Hmm.
Chirpa's the chief, but then Law Gray is like their like religious leader for the
Yeah.
Ewoks. So yeah, he does the ceremony with like it's basically like a hand binding or hand tying
Yeah.
the ceremony, in which it talks about it going around their middle fingers, which I was like, that's not the finger that rings usually go on, but like okay, whatever. Uh,
Yeah.
but like it like wraps around with like a vine, and then the like it, like, cracks, I guess, and, like, all the nectar comes out of it, and then it turns into, like, an amber kind of situation.
Yeah.
I know, where I was last listening, Leia's ring does crack, but I don't know if it fully breaks before the end of the book.
Yeah. All I remember is that like Han was gonna try to get them like replacements like as soon as possible.
Oh, oh, they're gonna go get the silicone, Enzo rings with "I
Yeah.
love you, I know" on
There we go. And you know what? Their rings would say "I love you," and I know
They
probably.
would. And you
Yeah.
know what? They should be the silicone rings too because, I
Mhm.
mean, they get into a lot of crazy adventures, and
Mhm.
If there's one thing I learned in the Navy, it's that like ships and jewelry don't go well together.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 They teach you all of that in boot camp. They're like, when we tell you not to wear a ring on a certain deck, it's because of this picture.
Yeah.
Like trauma.
um, I just also want to address the Halcyon and the use of the Halcyon. Um, I will say this, it did not feel like a cheap advertisement.
It didn't. Although, so I'm like 50-50 on that.
Okay.
I don't think it felt like a cheap advertisement, but I feel like, and I think we talked about this with other
Hey,
books
Ash.
that mentioned that too. The idea that it's like kind of like catering to people who have already done the experience or like
Yeah.
catering to a reader who will experience it, but that at some
Hmm.
point to like just little things that like, oh yeah, like if you've been there, you know this thing.
Yeah.
Um, which I mean, I love that they did that for the Batu books,
Hmm.
like being able to go through Batu and see like things that you've seen mentioned in the novels.
Yeah.
Um, I'm just a little salty because obviously the Halcyon is like way out of price range for so many of us.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, probably never gonna see that. Cool, thanks.
Yeah. We're good, Ash. How are you? Um, yeah, like because like the Halcyon takes on a character of itself in this book, like in a really cool way.
It does. The freaking climate room is so much cooler in the
Yeah.
book than it is in real life.
Oh, you mean Florida?
Yeah. No one wants the climate simulator that's just Florida ever. No. Worst climate to simulate.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, like the climate simulator seems really cool, and like the way they describe the Crown of Corellia dining room, like all that stuff's like really cool.
Along those lines, I really love that Han is kind of like thinking about Corellia. Uh,
Hmm.
like he's like being kind of critical of the name Crown of Corellia because the planet of Corellia only ever gave him trouble.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah,
Yeah. Thanks, Ash.
including Kira.
Yeah.
Uh, I thought that was great, like because it's presented as like this amazing dining experience, but to Han, who grew up on Corellia, he's like,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, no, no, it's
And
okay.
I do love like Han does think about Kira quite a bit in this book too,
He does.
which is very interesting
Yes, and
because he,
there's references to like the Crimson Reign storyline,
yeah,
or not necessarily, but the bounty hunters where
yeah,
Kira comes in.
yeah, and like he kind of plays like this what if scenario in his head too, like what if he didn't marry Leia but like stayed with Kira and like yeah, like you can see him like playing these what ifs.
Mhm. What if he'd actually married Sanastaros?
Yeah, exactly. So that's really interesting to see it come into play with the story as well, and how. Okay, Ash, have a good night.
Right.
Um, so yeah, it was really interesting to see that, and to see all that take place on the Halcyon was pretty cool too. Um, I forget, did they have the entertainment?
Not as far as I've listened, and
Okay.
I'm got maybe an hour left in the book, so I don't think they
Yeah.
do.
Sorry, Beth, if you're watching. I'm sorry I forgot. Like I apologize. Um,
They do, however, talk about Hollow Sabak,
yep.
which I think is really funny because Han is kind of like, so like, what are the stakes? Like, what are you betting?
Hmm.
And everyone's like, oh, like we're just playing for fun. It's like
Excuse me.
it's just like so, and I think he
Excuse me.
comments on this
Sorry.
that the people sailing on the Halcyon
Mm.
are like so out of touch with like the reality that he knows,
Yeah.
which also was leading me into like a meta. conversation with myself about like if I were to go in the Halcyon, like I feel like most of the people experiencing it would be from a higher socioeconomic standpoint than
Yeah.
myself, and like not necessarily like I would just be like, cool, like I'm gonna go have this great Star Wars experience, whereas other people might be like, oh yeah, like we're gonna, I don't know, just gamble for fun and not actually win anything, and
Yeah.
uh yeah, just
Well,
not
while
down to earth.
while all the stories are going on and everything, they're just sitting there playing Hollow Sabacc, drinking their expensive drinks. Oh,
Exactly.
yeah.
And I've seen that like aboard the like the Disney cruises as well.
Hmm.
Uh, the best example of this is like I went to like go get a manicure and pedicure at
Hmm.
the spa that's like right underneath like the concierge level.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, no, everyone up there was like super bougie, and I was like in like shorts and a t-shirt and feeling super out of place.
Yeah.
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 So
Zach asks, is there a book based off of the Crime Syndicate? Um, so Crimson Dawn has come into the comics recently. So you want to read War of the Bounty Hunters and Crimson Reign.
yes.
Um, those are the ones where you're going to get a lot of that Crime Syndicate. I think, well, no,
Darth Vader's the other one with crossover too, right?
Vader's the other one with crossover too. And Bounty Hunters crosses over, and so does Dr. Afra.
It's all connected. It
Yeah.
goes all the way to the top.
Yeah. The main Star Wars book crosses over a little bit, but not as much.
Mhm.
The main Star Wars book kicked off War of the Bounty Hunters, though.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, read Vader, Afra, War of the Bounty Hunters, and Crimson Reign. And then
I would
huh?
love for there to be a novel though, like
Yeah.
Akira novel.
Hmm.
Excuse me.
Because we had Most Wanted.
Right. Which
Yeah,
is kind of like filling in the time before, like in the middle of Solo, like
that's right.
after, or no, it's before they leave Corellia is when it starts off.
Yeah, it's her growing up with Han.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. It's been a long time since I read
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah. Um so yeah, if you're going to read those, that's what I suggest. Um there was also, like, if you're looking at Legends, I would say the Bounty Hunter Wars trilogy has a lot of Crime Syndicate stuff in it. I will say this though, that is a lot of conspiracy theories and flashbacks to conspiracy theories of flashbacks to conspiracy theories. It is all over the place and ridiculous. It's long-winded. I will tell you that right now.
All
Um,
of Legends is long-winded
oh
and
yeah, oh yeah. And how many times can you put Prince Shizor and Vader and the Emperor in a room together? Like they're always in a room together and they're always plotting to stab each other in the back.
yep, yep.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much it's stabby, stab, 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 stab. And with the Bounty
Oh,
Hunter Wars trilogy, it's they pretty much devise a plan to get rid of the Bounty Hunter Guild by inserting Boba Fett into said Bounty Hunter Guild. So it's annoying. It takes a lot of patience. Um, one of my buddy Tim, when he was reading it, he said that he could only read it while he was going to the bathroom.
yep. The
Yeah.
bathroom read.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Um, Also, I would recommend the Han Solo trilogy from Legends. Had
Yes.
some Crime Syndicate stuff too.
God, I
Um,
haven't read those in forever. Those are,
yeah,
I think, ones I need to go back and revisit.
those are the
Actually,
AC. Go ahead.
I've really been wanting to revisit the New Jedi Order.
New Jedi Order is good. It's long.
Long. I want to say it was something like I think like 19 or 20 books or something,
It
maybe even
was.
more.
It
Uh,
was.
Yeah, I've read all of them at
Hmm.
least once already, but I that was like I think I can't remember what year they started coming out, but
It
like
was
I got into them maybe like a 2001 maybe.
99, 90, no, 2000. It was 99 or 2000.
October 5th, 1999,
Okay.
Vector Prime by Ari Salvatore came out. And it
Yeah.
ended, I want to say, in like 2006 or 7. So it was
Yeah.
running for a long time. And it was so many books that, like, it was like how we have the High Republic releases happening, where it kind of feels like we're getting all of this content all at once. It was like that, but like times 10.
Yeah. We had a new book almost like every month or like every other month.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was crazy.
Uh,
Um, I love those. But
that was a
Jaina Solo.
dark story.
It was a really dark story.
Yeah.
I read a fantastic Raylo fanfic.
Hmm.
Uh, Not that kind of fanfic though. It was actually really it was just freaking good where like they took the end of episode 9 and somehow like changed it so that Ben came back because we need a good fix it fic. But then the Yuzhan Vong showed up.
Oh, nice.
So it was like Rise of Skywalker straight into NJO.
Hmm.
And yeah, I can't remember the name of that, but I will share that on Twitter at some point because that's I can't recommend it enough. Oh, I think it was called like I Killed Giants or something. But
Yeah.
yeah, so freaking good. I was just like, and the author even puts like links to Wikipedia
Hmm.
for like all of the terms that they're
Nice.
using that people might not. They're like, oh, here's all of these random things that are from legends that I'm now
Hmm.
incorporating into canon. Just,
So the rumor is that Dave Filoni actually wanted the Yuzhen Vong to show up in Clone Wars.
I would have been so happy.
Yeah. Um,
Timeline would have been perfect for it too, or like time frame.
yeah, to like really throw things into turmoil.
Because yeah, Clone Wars was happening, or like the release of Clone Wars was just shortly after the end of NJO.
Yeah, it was right before Legacy of the Force started.
Yes,
Yeah.
such a good series.
Yeah.
And then
Um,
you get Boba Fett coming back from the dead to train Jaina Solo.
yeah, that was pretty badass.
That was super badass.
I think that was Karen Travis's book.
I think so. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
towards the end of the series.
Yeah, because that's when Jason Solo went rogue.
Actually, no, I think that was Legacy of the Force where that all happened.
Legacy
I
of the
might be I
Force,
might
yeah.
be putting Boba Fett in too early, but Boba Fett does show up to help
Yeah.
fight the Yuuzhan Vong. And
That's
he's
right,
all
he
like
does.
he's like, "Oh, my deal was never with you, Solo. Like, we're fine. It was just a bounty." He's
Yeah.
like, "My real issue is the Jedi."
Uh, and then yeah, Legacy of the Force, that's when Jason Solo goes down the dark path, in which Jaina ends up being the only surviving Solo kid left until Alana Solo.
Hmm. Yep.
So they're in Legends. Okay, so actually,
Sorry, yeah, we
let's
just went off
no,
on a
no,
Legends tangent.
let's talk about this then. So in Legends, Han and Leia had three children: Anakin, Jaina, and Jason.
Jaina
Um,
and Jason being the eldest, and they are
yeah,
twins.
yes. And then they all trained under Luke as Jedi.
And
Um,
Mara Jade was like once they were like to the point where they were Padawans and like had like separate masters,
yeah,
Mara was Jaina's master
that's
and
right.
Luke was Jason's.
That's right. I forget who Anakin's was. I think I want to
I
say
don't
Corin.
I maybe, but I don't even know if they got to that point before the invasion
Yeah,
because he was several years younger.
yeah, he was, and he dies early in New Jedi Order too.
He does, and he is young. I want to say he's only like 15 or so when he dies,
Yeah,
if that even.
and then Luke and Mara. Yeah, whoa, mind blown. Luke and Mara Jade actually had a kid, Ben Skywalker.
And that was towards the end of that series.
Yeah. And then Ben plays a prominent role in Fate of the Jedi.
Yes. And
Um,
Ben does not go to the dark side like Ben Solo.
no.
That's Jason Solo's job.
Yeah. Which I will,
It's still Han and Leia's kid.
yeah. Which I will say this, Fate of the Jedi, very, very good series. It's a little all over the place in the middle.
I didn't make it through that one. I'd started it.
hmm
I need to come back to it.
I it ends pretty well. Um, but my problem with my problem with the EU, the old EU, is
Mhm.
they pretty much made Luke Skywalker a superhero.
Yeah.
Even like if especially in New Jedi Order, because like they make him like so like unstoppable
Mhm.
that it's a little annoying.
Yeah, like he's one of the characters that you never really ever feel like he's in danger.
No,
Like he's always going to come out of it.
yeah, and he
And I felt
always
like that
does.
about the Solo kids until Anakin died, and then I was like, okay, it's fair game. Like,
hmm Well, it was fair game with Chewie. Um, yes, so Chewie dies in New Jedi Order. Spoiler alert.
in the very first book of the series,
At the end of the first
at the
book, though.
end.
Yeah. Um, he and I will tell you this: he does go out in the best way. Freaking
Yes.
Moon takes him out.
Gets freaking smashed by a whole moon.
Yeah. So I will say that. But it's and like even then, like his sacrifice feels so in vain because like he sacrifices himself to save Anakin Solo, only for Anakin Solo to die like 3 books later.
It was farther in than that. I want to say it was around like book 10 or so that Anakin dies. But then
Yeah.
Anakin also dies as a sacrifice to save a bunch of the other young Jedi.
Yeah, he does. He does.
So his death was definitely meaningful.
Yeah, but Chewie's just didn't feel like it.
No. I so along those lines though, after you can see like after Chewie's death, how that affects Han going forward,
Yeah.
and then after Anakin's death, how that affects Jason going forwards.
Yeah.
And
Because
like, yeah, oh, that was
Agents of Chaos is a really interesting deep dive into Han Solo.
yes. That's when Han is like off doing his own thing. He's like not really part of his family anymore.
Yeah.
It yeah, it makes me think of the Han that we see showing up in Force Awakens.
Mhm.
So there's like sprinkled elements of the EU and the NJO that like made it into current Star Wars, but
Yeah.
just a little, just like flavor, like seasoning.
Mhm. So I was gonna say like if they did the Yuzhen Vong in Clone Wars, it would be interesting to see them like just attacking the unknown regions like the Chiss Ascendancy and like all of those other civilizations before making it into the greater galaxy. So like let the Clone Wars happen, let the Galactic Civil War happen, let the second Galactic Civil War happen, and then like during the rebuilding, have the Yuzhen Vong attack.
Yeah. Oh, and just galactic level here and talking about just ascendancy.
Yeah.
Uh, in the timeline in the NJO when the Yuuzhan do come in, um, that ultimately like brings together the Chiss, the New Republic, and the Imperial Remnant, and like makes
Yeah.
them all like have to work together because there's something bigger than themselves out there.
Yeah.
And oh, that was, I mean, screw the Empire, but like it was cool to see the Chiss.
Yeah. Because that's when we're introduced to Jag Fell, I believe.
Shaggy fell,
Yeah.
my first book boyfriend.
Oh, I rooted for him and Jaina. I did.
Yeah,
Big time.
yeah. I think that was the first ship that I wrote fan fiction for.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yes. Yep. because
Nice.
this I think this is not prequels because like obviously episode one was out, but like this might have been like around episode two era. So
Yeah.
it might have been a tie between them and Anakin and Padme. It was
Nice.
just all Star Wars fan fiction for me.
Yeah. Um,
I mean, it's still all Star Wars fan fiction for me.
yeah. Um, but anyway, back to Princess and the Scoundrel here. Um, how how do you think they handled Luke in the book?
He's a little goofy.
Yeah.
He's a little goofy. I don't dislike it,
Hmm.
but I also and I don't know if he turns back up again at the end, but um he's just so obviously he's come to the realization that Vader is his dad.
Hmm.
Anakin is now dead. Um and he's like really trying to get Leia to see eye to eye with him on
You're
that.
fine, Zach. You're fine.
And I didn't see the comment.
He just said sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. Um But yeah, so like we get those two little aspects of Luke. We get like the Luke that's being kind of like goofy and silly with Han, and then the Luke that's like, "Hey Leia, this was our dad," and like there is good in him, and he died as Anakin, but
Hmm.
she's just like she is nowhere near ready to accept that, and I think that that was like a little like forceful of him.
Yeah.
Which I didn't like. I don't think that he could recognize her trauma,
Hmm.
and knowing that that is the person who stood behind her with his hand on her shoulder as she watched her homeworld burn,
Yeah.
and the person who tortured her, like he never did Luke just fought him, like one on
Yeah.
one fought him, and I think that that's so much different of an experience than what Leia had to go through with Vader that like I just don't think that they'll ever quite see eye to eye on that. So I'm
Yeah.
really kind of hoping that we do see more of that in the future with them, like see how they talk about it in the future.
Yeah. Because to me, like he kind of reverts back to the farm boy that we get like from episode 4, which is fine. Like it's fine, but then there's like times when he's and this has nothing to do with Beth Revis herself. I, I it's just like the way I was reading it, like he's so like forceful to Leia to like try to push her to train and to like go with him
Mhm.
that like it drives Leia further away,
Yes. Yeah.
like into Han's arms.
Yeah.
Which I just found pretty interesting because like Luke's like, well, you can come with me. You can, search for these temples and search for Jedi artifacts and everything. And Leia's like, that's all well and great, but like I have a life that I'm trying to live.
Right.
And like at times, like he just seems like not able to accept it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then so on the flip side of that, how it's coming across to Leia, she's getting this offer from her brother to go do the thing, which necessarily isn't a bad thing.
Yeah,
But then she's also thinking like the force isn't just what Luke has, it's not just what I have. Like for her, it's coming back to like we were given this by Vader.
yeah,
And it was like whenever I'm talking about like Vader to Leia, like that's who he'll always kind of be to her
yeah,
until we get to Bloodlines in the timeline. Because
yeah.
that's when she kind of really starts to like accept it and like rectify it in her head.
Hmm.
Like, she's still not okay with it, but she's, like, willing to accept it at that point. But, like, at this
Yeah,
point, like, that's not Dad, that's not Anakin, that's Vader,
yeah,
no
yeah.
matter, like, what Luke sees him to be. And, so, yeah, she's, like, afraid of that idea of, if I learn to use the Force, will it send me down the path of the dark side like it did Vader? Like,
Hmm.
you know, Luke hasn't gone that way, but, like, there's like, just acknowledging that there's that, path to darkness in her family.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
which, I mean, she sees how great Luke turns out and is willing to put her son in his tutelage.
Hmm.
Um, and I guess maybe kind of forgot about that whole path of darkness in their
Yeah.
family. So
Maybe.
it's like, we're beyond that. It'll be fine. Nothing bad will ever happen to poor baby Ben Solo.
Poor emo child.
Flash forward to the emo days.
Yeah. Um, but I will say this: I think the three best written characters in this book, well, two of them are Han and Leia because it's their book, it's their
She got
story.
them perfectly.
Yeah. Um, like it's so funny to see lovey-dovey Han and then like to have him turn around and like be just as much of a jerk as he always has been.
Yes.
Um, but I will say this, she wrote Lando perfectly.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
wrote Lando to a T.
That he has like the fancy like wine glass when they're at the bachelor party, and
Yeah.
Han's like, "Where did you even get that glass from?" It's
He's like, what glass? Like,
like, "Oh, like, you know, doesn't everyone carry around a fancy goblet?"
yeah,
Duh.
it's so funny. He's showing off so much.
Mhm. And it all feels very, very much in character for him.
Yeah. And then I will also say she nails 3PO really well too.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Oh my God.
yeah.
And the conversations back and forth where 3PO is trying to translate for the Ewoks.
Yeah.
It's just as stilted and awkward as it is in the movie, which
Mm.
is it's perfect.
Oh
You can
yeah.
tell she rewatched Return of the Jedi so many
Hmm.
times prepping for this.
Um,
Kudos.
all I can say is that this book is wonderful. It's so much fun. It it really is like one of the best Star Wars stories I've read. Um, it's I talk about the High Republic being like like the plat, like the bar, and
I
this
mean,
this is close to it. Like this is really close to it.
I
Um,
I love that it's like it's one of those books that it's there, it's in the timeline.
hmm.
Did it need to be? Maybe
No,
not. But like, do I still enjoy it? Yes.
yeah,
Like, I want to see more. And I think like Poe Dameron Freefall was another one where it's kind of like just like a character study of
yeah,
like here's a glimpse into this character's life and the thing that's going on at this point in time for them.
hmm,
And it doesn't necessarily play into the much larger picture of things. Um, and I think that that's what this one is too.
hmm,
Although we do get a little bit of like the fallout of the war
yeah,
um ending, and I get to see kind of the Halcyon's full of there's good people on both sides
yeah.
types.
Oh, there are a lot of make the galaxy great again types.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. Um, but I will also say this, like you're starting to see like in this book you also start to see like the seeds of the First Order starting to get planted too,
Yes, you do.
which is really interesting. So you have to like look at all of those things. Like you can clearly tell like Beth is trying to close out like the original trilogy while also like trying to set up like uh Aftermath and Alphabet Squadron and like all of these others that come after it while also trying to set up Shadow of the Sith
Mm.
and the sequel trilogy like with Bloodline and stuff. I really think Beth really read Bloodline too.
She did a fantastic job linking both of Claudia's Leia books
Yeah,
into this one.
yeah, she did.
Um, I'm sure she probably even had conversations with Claudia
No, yeah.
about that, because it's so well knitted into the fabric of this story that it makes them a trilogy.
It does. It really does. Um, And I do want to plug that.
Trilogies.
Yeah, trilogy. I do want to plug that real quick. If you have not read any of Claudia Gray's Star Wars books, do yourself a favor and do so. Um, but read Leia, Princess of Alderaan, and
Yeah,
definitely read Bloodline because Bloodline does
so
such a
good.
great job setting up the conflict in the sequel trilogy. Um,
Because it's still a few years prior to Force Awakens,
it's
but
6 years.
it's yeah,
Yeah.
but you see, and I love, like, if you really look in between, this is just me being on my Ben Solo
Hmm.
BS, but, like, if you kinda, like, look in between the lines on Bloodlines, like, you see, like, she's trying to reach out to Ben, she hasn't heard from him in so long,
Hmm.
she hasn't heard from Luke, they're out on a mission, blah, blah, whatever, like, all those little things, like, stack up to what happens with him in The Rise of Kylo Ren.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really interesting. And then I will also say this: if you're on the fence about the sequel trilogy as a whole, read
Books make it so
Resistance
much
Reborn.
better.
A lot of these books make the sequel trilogy so much better.
They
Um,
really do.
read, uh, you know what? I'm gonna say this right now. Read Bloodline, read
Mhm.
Phasma, read Resistance Reborn, read Black Spire Outpost, uh,
And
and
Blackfire is definitely one of the ones I see more as, like, supplemental
yeah,
to the story, like, it makes it better and it's fun, and especially if you, like, have any interest in the parks at all,
yeah,
like, absolutely, but, yeah, because that one just kinda gives you, like, background stuff, like, what's happening behind the scenes while the sequel trilogy is going on.
yeah, but it also gives you like a real good like in-depth character study and like what like the locals feel about the
It's true.
conflict.
Yeah,
Um, because like Oga sees it as a way, like the people of Canto Bight do, like as a way to like get rich on both sides, and Wolfgar Calf sees Vimerati's capture as a way to like finally end the war and have the First Order triumphant. So it's really interesting to see that it is a supplemental book, but it's very entertaining and so good. I also say Shadow of the Sith, read that. It's incredible. And
I
then
just bought it the other day, actually.
you
I went to
bought
the
it.
I went to the bookstore and I bought it. The librarian bought a book.
Oh my God.
I know. It was 20% off at Barnes& and Noble. How could I resist?
Exactly. So yeah, read those because they're amazing and they enhance the sequel trilogy so much. Um, I will even say the Canto Bight book kind of does. It's not as important. Um, like Phasma's important because it's about Phasma's backstory.
Phasma
Plus,
is one of my favorite Star Wars
yeah,
books. So freaking
and
good.
and it introduces Cardinal
Cardinal and Vimerati, I
and
love them both.
Vimerati, who are amazing characters. Cardinal is incredible in Black Spire Outpost, and
Jaina had
then
to make an appearance.
yeah, that's fine.
No, don't
Um,
do the hug.
and then Vi Marati is actually it's really funny because we had Vi Marati in the books, and she's the only character from the books to actually make an appearance in the parks. Um, so if you go to Black Spire Outpost, Zach, next year, we're gonna talk about this, and we're gonna convince you to go. We're gonna do it.
Next time you see Vi, you have to ask her what she's knitting.
Yes.
Vi is canonically a knitter. Delilah Dawson put knitting into Star Wars, and I love her for that.
Yeah, and she was just trying to knit a hat for her brother.
She was knitting a hat for her brother. I drew as part of, like, one of my Inktobers, I
Hmm.
think in 2020, I did a whole Star Wars Inktober, um, and for my picture of Vi, she's sitting at the cantina knitting at the bar.
Nice. Nice. So definitely read those. I got I got nothing else except I can't recommend Princess and the Scoundrel enough. Uh,
It is
it
so good.
it's a solid 4 out of 5 for me.
The
Uh,
audiobook is fantastic.
yes.
Um, what else? I feel like there was something else I wanted to mention about it, but I can't remember now, so I'll tweet about it later if I remember.
It's fine. Um, but just if you want a fun Star Wars book, read that. The stakes are very low in the book.
Yeah, there's a wedding and bachelor party that goes awry, and then a honeymoon and newlywed drama, and also a kidnapping plot. That was the other thing.
That's right, there is a
Oh my
kidnapping
God.
plot.
The guy that's trying to kidnap Leia or like talking about it while he's playing Sabacc with
Yeah.
Han.
Yeah, that's smart.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Real quick, I just wanted to say the dynamic between Han and Leia reminds me so much of my parents.
Hmm.
Like just like the little like bickering and stuff that
Oh yeah.
I'm like, no wonder I liked them so much as a kid. Like they just reminded me of mom and dad. Like my parent, like the when Leia's like, what did you do? And I was like, I wasn't actually gonna throw him off the ship. I'm like, I could see that being a conversation between my parents.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So,
I didn't actually do it. I wasn't gonna do the thing. Like, but you threatened it.
but I didn't do the thing.
But I didn't do the thing.
Yes. But the thing was almost done.
Thing was almost done.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, that's it unless you got anything else.
I got nothing. That was it for me.
All right. So, we're gonna wrap things a little bit early tonight.
Gonna go eat
Once
my veggie
again,
burger
yeah, there you go. Once again, Lavender's last regular show is next week.
next week.
So
Yeah.
tune in for that. It's gonna be celebration all about Lavender or Casper.
Yay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Um, yeah, but it's gonna be celebration all about you.
I
Yeah.
will
Um,
hide.
okay. Yeah, there we go.
I was
Um,
like, maybe make sure I didn't just like flash social security numbers of my
yeah, yeah.
children on the internet.
Yes, all right.
Like, please let this be blank. It is blank paper.
Yeah. But we're also going to be talking about the Rings of Power next week, so that'll be a lot of fun.
Very excited
Um,
for that first episode.
and
I'll only have seen the first episode. I think of that because I'm not doing the movie or the like the theater experience.
no, you get both episodes Friday.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I will have seen them both then because there's no way that Fred and I won't be watching them because he is the one counting down like the minutes for the show.
Nice.
I'm excited about it too, but
Yeah.
he's like,
And next week, we're going to dive more into Andor by talking about a little movie called Rogue One.
I have actually after we were talking about Rogue One at the top of this episode, I was thinking I might just go watch that after we sign off tonight. I've
Nice.
really been needing to rewatch it and then seeing everybody with their IMAX experiences speak.
Hmm. Yeah, it
Such,
was
such a good movie.
it was interesting. Like I saw Brooks like Instagram photos and tweets and stuff, and it was interesting to see that. And then like a few other like podcasters and stuff. Um, I wish that we could have gone, but it is what it is.
And that's one of the things. So I don't have an IMAX. I've got the RPX, but
Yeah,
there's not an IMAX very close to me that was playing it. So
which
just
is
didn't
the
work out.
opposite of what I have.
I know,
I I have IMAX,
but no
but
RPX.
no RPX.
Uh,
Yeah.
RPX is RPX is great.
That's what I've heard. So that is going to be for us this week. We hope that you have a
Yep.
wonderful week. May the force be with you. May you always fight for light in life. Did you have something to add?
No,
Okay.
no.
And remember, at the end of the day, we are all the Republic. Have a wonderful